And what's up, everybody? It's John Vincent. You're watching Fatty's Funhouse. Tonight, I have a very special guest in house, Mr. Frank White, who is a music photographer, an author, a photo agent, and also, as well, a cultivator. Frank, welcome to the show.
Hey, nice to meet you, man.
Same here.
Great. Glad to be here.
So, this is a Fatty's Funhouse exclusive tonight. We're here to talk about Frank's life in the metal scene as a
Yep.
photographer, as a photo agent. I just seen a preview of Jersey Metal. Looks like an amazing read.
Thank you.
Whoever picks that up, they're going to be in for some great memories
That's true.
and hopefully talk about some new ones.
That's right.
So we are live tonight on my two Facebook accounts. We're live on YouTube and we're live on Instagram.
Awesome.
So we have 4 markets tonight.
That's great. Appreciate
And,
it.
so jumping into it, you were basically a young man, young
Yeah.
boy, jumping into shooting Led Zeppelin at Madison Square Garden.
That's right. My mom was a photographer in the
Okay.
40s and 50s. And when I was born in 62, she already had like a bunch of cameras. And when I was about 6 or so, she just started showing me her cameras and showing me photos on the wall through a slide projector
Okay.
of the photos that she shot years before, and our family when it was first starting out. And I was really amazed, and I liked what I was seeing in front of me. It was different from my toys and stuff that I was looking at, and I wanted to know more about it. And my mom was very into showing me, because she was still much a photographer, but she used to photograph portraits of families and weddings and
Right.
babies at a store similar to Sears, where they had like a photo studio in the store itself,
Right.
and you would be shopping and, oh, I think I want to do some photos with my family, and they would make arrangements, and my mother would be the photographer to photograph them.
I've gotten plenty of photographs taken of myself at Sears,
Right, me too.
Bradley, stuff like that
Yep.
back in the day. So,
That's right.
so I totally no stranger to that.
Yeah, and so becoming a music fan in the late '60s, and liking bands like the Woodstock Nation of artists, and then Zeppelin, and Black Sabbath,
Right.
Blue Cheer, and bands like that. And I heard on the radio that Led Zeppelin was playing at Madison Square Garden in New York. And I just made a plan to go into the city because I knew my mother and father wouldn't take me.
Right.
But they had a lot of trust in me
Okay.
as a kid. And I made up this story telling them that I would be in the neighborhood and that I would be home, before midnight.
Right.
And it was a snowy day. And I didn't have any film on me or a ticket. But I knew how to get into the city. My mom showed me the way into New York City because she didn't like to drive. So she would
Okay.
take me on the bus. And the bus was right up the street. And after school, I got my mom's camera out of the closet, put it in a bag, stuffed it in my jacket, told my parents I was going to a friend's house around
Had
the
to do
corner.
that on the sneak, huh?
That's it. And then I just went in the opposite direction, went up to the corner, flagged down the first bus that was going to the Port Authority in New York City, got onto the bus, paid the fare, whatever it was at the time, got into New York City through a snowstorm, and found the first place that was selling camera, picked up a roll of slide film,
Okay.
went down to the box office. They had a couple solo tickets. I picked up one like in the orchestra, in the front
Right.
part of the orchestra, and being inside Madison Square Garden for a concert was just amazing. All the people there. You could smell that funny smoke in the air.
Of course.
And, it was just like a really wild scene for me to be in as a kid. And then concert started, and for some reason, something told me to just move up front. And so I was able, when the lights were out, I kind of moved up towards the front row.
Right.
There was an empty seat for the moment. I took it. I was just photographing like no one's kind of like was really noticing me that much, I guess, because of the when the lights went out. You know, it's
Right.
kind of made my move. And when they came on, I just started photographing. You know, try to remember what my mom was teaching me. You know, when you photograph at nighttime, you
Yeah.
know, or whatever during the day, and also as well. So I just learned, you know, really quickly to take some of the best photos, you know, of my young years as a photographer.
Right.
And that night was just an amazing experience. The music that they played actually in between the Westminster Dog Show.
Okay.
You know, so they had like a sign up like best dog in show or something, you know, hanging up, and like over under the stage, and I ended up having to leave before the show was over with. I had a bus schedule
Okay.
on how to get home, and I was able to catch that bus and make it back before midnight, and I was able to get into the house, and my parents didn't really know anything different.
Right. Were you able to sneak the camera back in?
That's right. And then after that, I ended up doing that over and over again for the next 2.5 years, photographing bands like Robin Trower, Alice Cooper,
Oh wow.
Chicago, Queen. You know,
Now Chicago, I would say like mid
and they
'80s.
played with they played with the Beach Boys. This was like in the
Wow.
mid '70s. Yeah, so them, and you know, I saw Aerosmith open for Black Sabbath on Ozzy's birthday, December 3rd, 1975. You know,
That had to be
I was
some
like
show.
12 years old at this
Right.
time, you know, and I was just floored by what I was doing, and I just wanted to keep it going, and I did. And I went on to photograph, you know, Thin Lizzy, when they had Gary Moore in the band, and I shot Leonard Skinner back then, even though they're not metal, but I was
Right.
into Southern rock, and you know, photographed like the Outlaws and Marshall Tucker. There was a time where I was getting into the Southern rock scene.
Okay.
Rainbow was back then too, and I was even shooting some, you know, some soul acts. I got into photographing Bob Marley.
Oh, that had
Yeah.
to be.
This was now when I shot some of the Southern rock acts and Bob Marley. That was like around late '70s and early '80s. And I was also at the time was working at a place called Collector's World, and I was selling my photos there. The guys who owned the store gave me a free spot to sell my pictures. They really liked my work. They thought I was a nice kid. I give the kid a shot, you know.
Right. That's actually mentioned in the book.
Right, and so I ended up opening up a little booth, selling some of my photos from the past few years. And one day, a guy came up to me, Italian guy with sunglasses, slick back hair, and he goes, "Hey, did you photograph these photos?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, I'm a ticket broker," and he goes, "How do you get your tickets?" I go, "Well, you know, either I wait online, you know, or I go first online at like Ticketron at the time." And he goes, "How would you like to work with me?" I go, "Doing what?" He goes, "Selling my tickets for me." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? We just kind of like met, and you really
Right.
want to have me as like a helper?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "You're going to be sitting next to me, you know, for the next several weeks or months or years." I'm
Right.
like, "Yeah, I guess so." And I was also working at Dunkin' Donuts at the time
Okay.
too, so I had a lot going on after school. And he gave me a whole bunch of tickets, and they were for different concerts. And
Right.
I became that guy Damone from Fast Times at Ridgemont High
Oh,
before the
scalper.
movie
Yeah.
came out. Yeah, I was like selling these tickets to my friends in the neighborhood, to my friends at school, to people at the mall. You know, just the kids I ran into. I go, "Hey, I got some Van Halen tickets, or I got some, you know, Earth, Wind, and Fire."
You don't know Damone like I
I
know
got, I got
Damone.
I got Blue Oyster Cult tickets. How many do you need? I have a whole stack in my pocket, and so that's how it went for the after the first couple years of getting tickets on my own. I always had tickets on me right
Right.
and through high school, And then that movie comes out, and I'm like, was someone following me? I mean, how'd they
You
find
were the
out?
inspiration for the character of
I
Mike
don't know.
Damone.
I guess maybe the writer of the movie, who became really famous, he must have knew somebody out there at the time, out in California, that was, or on the road, that was selling tickets, and then
Right.
he was able to get a character that was just like him.
So if anybody hasn't seen it, here it is, Jersey Metal. Pick it up. I'm sure it's at every major bookstore in the United States. Probably Barnes and Noble.
There are, well, at the time, I think you can possibly get it on Barnes and Noble, but if you go to jerseymetalbook.com is where you'll definitely get it. In fact, we'll be the ones shipping it out to you.
Got that
That's the
jerseymetal.com?
jerseymetalbook.com.
jerseymetalbook.com.
That's it. That's the place where you can pick it up. And there's also some record stores here in New Jersey that you can get it at too. So they're around the state.
This is like the Bible right here.
That's right. That's
Okay.
right.
Pick it up. Definitely going to be a good read.
It will. It's been getting a whole bunch of great compliments and some decent reviews.
So now there's a volume 2 in the works. Is that
That's
correct?
right. So volume 2 is from 1987 to 2004. And we just start out with the first show that's in the book is the one with Wasp, Slayer, and Raven
Okay.
at the Capitol Theater. And that was a pretty wild show, to say the least. And we just go into the club scene and we interview bands like we did in the first book. And we talk about how the scene, was going at that point.
Right.
Yep.
So, so now what's the connection with you and Ronnie James Dio?
Well, I started photographing Ronnie in 1975 when I was, 12, 13 years old. And I ended up photographing him in Rainbow at the Beacon Theater.
Okay.
And the band Argent opened up, which was the only time I ever saw them. And I became a fan of the band after I saw them live. But I didn't get to shoot them again until later on. And that's when Joe Lynn Turner stepped into Rainbow. And then Ronnie, he became the singer of Black Sabbath. And so I ended up photographing Black Sabbath with Ronnie after Ozzy left in the early 80s.
I mean, Rainbow, you have the Graham Bonnet era.
That's right.
You have the Dio era.
Yep.
You have the Joe and Turner era.
Mm-hmm.
Which are all amazing singers.
They are.
I mean, I think Graham Bonnet's still doing it.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yep.
And stuff like All Night Long. That's like my favorite.
Yeah.
In that
it's
era.
a great hit. It's a great hit.
It's one of those songs that it just pops, and if you hear it live, you're gonna go crazy.
That's right. You will.
Man on a Silver Mountain.
Yep.
I'm not really familiar. Well, Street of Dreams.
It's a great record.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's like, I guess when I first started getting into rock and roll, like the MTV era just kind of hit,
Okay.
and I'm a '70s baby.
Right. I started first checking out bands on TV with the Ed Sullivan Show.
Okay.
And then I got into like Midnight Special, Don Kirshner's Rock Concert, and then the ABC had In Concert.
Right.
So I was so much involved in watching these programs all the time that was one of my reasonings for wanting to see it live myself and take pictures with my mom's camera.
Now those type of programs, they were on pretty late on like a Saturday
Yes,
night or something like
right.
that.
But-
Even MTV used to have their Saturday night concert.
That's
I
right.
remember.
Yeah, they had Headbangers Ball. The weekends
That was
up.
after the Saturday night concert series, I believe.
Okay.
Kind of faded out.
Yeah, so I was a fan of that, and then of course MTV came along, and I used to watch the videos a lot. Yeah, so it was a really cool time being a a kid growing up, and I did a lot of this on my own. I didn't have any like friends to speak of that I grew up with that came along, except one of my friends went to see a show with me. We went together for the first time a
Right.
couple of years after I started photographing bands on my own.
Right.
And I never told him or really anybody about what I did. And I could have said, yeah, well, I did some things, but they don't know the extent of it. And it was pretty extreme, and that kept going on for decades.
Right.
And I have such an archive that I can service any kind of outlet, from a record company to a magazine, a book company, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, poster
Right.
company, DVD company. I worked with them all.
Now I'm guessing that's where the photo agency comes in.
Partly. The photo agency started in 1986. It's called
Okay.
Frank White Photo Agency, where I decided to sell other people's photos after a lot of people asking me, well, you're making all this money with your photos. Like, how do you do it? And I was like, you know what? Instead of telling everybody, I'll just start my own agency, and then I'll service their photos out with my own, and to anybody that is looking for certain acts.
Right.
And with having a lot of different photographers to work with, you have more of a chance to sell and make money for yourself and for the photographer that you're selling for.
Wow.
Hmm.
I never knew.
Yeah, so it's like a 60-40 split. I'll
Okay.
be honest, it's like the photographer gets 60% of the sale, I get 40. And I take that high amount because I'm getting them into very big companies
Right.
that use photos for millions of people to see.
Right. Markets that they would have never imagined to get into themselves.
Exactly, and it would take them a little while to figure it out, and so I kind of do the shortcut route and get them in sooner than later.
Right. I mean, like even myself, I've been doing photography and videography for years.
Yep.
Different thing. I mean, I've done music,
Right.
you know, a number of times. Mostly, I do model photography,
Okay.
some events, parties, stuff like that.
Yep.
Which weddings are pretty much my most unfavorite thing to do.
Yeah, it's a lot. You have so much to think about. Everything, is very memorable moments happen in seconds. You got to be right on the mark.
Yeah.
You got to be able to get it and just go on to the next thing, because everything's happening one right after another. And
But you also need multiple shooters as well.
well, I did some weddings myself for a number of years, and I was the only one photographing, and I was able to cover it. It was sort of like sometimes I knew the people, other times it was the job came from a friend or somebody that referenced for me to be there, and I was like, okay, and I figured out a price, and I ended up doing quite well for a while, and then it just kind of faded out, and then I just kept going with the music photography and other things I got into. I
Right.
got into photographing celebrities in the late 90s and early 2000s. I got into biker photography, shooting motorcycle magazines like
Okay.
Iron Horse,
Right.
Outlaw Biker, In the Wind, Live to Ride, dealing with biker groups and their bikes and their girls, and photographing them, and that was different, really
Right.
crazy lifestyle. And then I got into pro wrestling. I was shooting a lot of wrestling, like WWF, WCW,
Right.
ECW, XPW, and so. But all those faded out after a while, and then the music photography just continued along
Right.
until this day.
Had to move my microphone a little bit. I just got a comment from my friend Donna
Okay.
that the microphone was right in my mug,
Oh,
which I guess isn't a bad thing. I'm
hey, it happens once in a
pretty
while.
ugly King Kong Bundy looking guy.
Nah.
Actually, that was a high school nickname, Bundy.
Oh, really?
And he actually like probably right before I got diagnosed with being diabetic, I was going to start training to be a wrestler,
Wow.
and he was actually going to be my coach.
There's a place here in Jersey that you could do that.
Down in Atlantic City.
Oh, all right.
or close to Atlantic City.
Right.
Speaking of Atlantic City, Chuck K, if you're listening, what's up, brother?
What's up, Chuck? We have a
Our buddy, the Roar of Lemoore.
yep. We have a Cream article that's coming out with photos that I did, and
I heard of that.
Yep. And Chuck told his story about working there at the club for a few years, and I was at that club while I was photographing the New Jersey scene
Right.
and going into other states for other shows, depending on the situation at that time.
Now, a small venue, let's say, any Jersey club. What would be your favorite club to shoot in?
Well, back in let's say, I guess, very late '70s, early '80s, places that I loved to shoot was the Circus. Circus turned into the Circus in Bergenfield.
Okay.
There was the Soap Factory in Palisades Park, Fountain Casino.
Which is right here. It's now a wedding venue.
That's right. And also back then was the Birch Hill nightclub. That was a really cool place to shoot. There was a few places down in South Jersey like Bonnie's Rocks, the Galaxy. You had also like some places like Mother's in Wayne, New Jersey.
Okay.
So a lot of these places, either I visited, photographed at, hung out at over the years.
Right then, there
Being
were
in
some seaside clubs, I believe, too.
Yep.
But I don't think any of them were really rock venues.
Well, you had like the Fast Lane in Asbury Park, Stone Pony, of course.
Right.
And then you had some of the other, you had the Brighton Bar.
Yeah. I missed the Brighton Bar so much.
Oh yeah, I went there. I went there often. It kind of reminded me of like a little of CBGB's in a way, but
Yes.
a shore kind of CBGB kind of club. And I missed that club because it was a really cool little place to hang out. I saw Monster Magnet there. A bunch of great bands. So
Kid that I went to high school with used to play with them, actually. Jim Baglino. He was the bass player for a
okay.
while.
Awesome.
My friend Don at Club Benet, Studio One.
Oh yeah, Studio One, another great club. Of course, I was there a lot in the Pipeline right around the corner from
Right.
it. I would go to both clubs in the same night because it was so easy. Just you could walk to them.
What was the other one in Irvington? It was in a
The
bad,
Cricket Club.
yeah, it
Yes,
was in a bad neighborhood.
It was kind of a weird neighborhood for me to have to see metal bands in.
Right.
But they had other kinds of bands as well play there, and I went there a number of times for like shows, a festival.
Right.
It was pretty cool.
Cricket Club, I might have went to twice in my life.
Yeah. Now I saw a sign; it's for sale. So if anybody's out there that's into opening up a club,
I can't even tell you the last time I even passed that on the Parkway.
I just passed it like the other day.
Really?
I came back from Atlantic City.
Because I mean, I seriously, if I get to maybe around like the Linden exit
Right.
on the Parkway,
Hmm.
I'm going far.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's even if I even decide to take the Parkway. Usually I'll
right.
from here I can back road it and be no problem.
Sure. Yeah, I was down there this past weekend for Alter Bridge. They
Okay.
played at the Borgata.
That had to be some
Yeah,
show.
with Filter opening up. It's a good show.
Was Tremonti playing with them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he was. Filter was on first, but they had like a silhouette look the whole entire night. It was kind of odd seeing them with like no spotlight on any of the guys. I mean, they could have put one on the singer, but everyone was in silhouette the whole entire night. So I kind of like, watched a few songs and then kind of strolled around the
Right.
casino for a little while until Alter Bridge was about to come on.
So now getting back to the Bible for a minute.
Sure.
Now, what years does this cover? Does it cover like 70 to 86, something like that?
It's 1969 actually
Okay.
to 1986, and I
Okay.
picked 69 because bands like Black Sabbath came out that year, and Led Zeppelin, and Alice Cooper started in the late 60s, and so I wanted to represent, and Mountain and other bands. So
Right.
Mountain and Alice Cooper are in the book in 69 and 1970
We're actually
from
getting
New
some-
Jersey clubs.
Actually getting some comments.
Oh, cool.
Got my buddy Craig Buckman. I think you know Craig.
Yeah, we interviewed him.
He's in Frank is amazing. Loved working with him on Jersey Metal.
Awesome.
Great guy. Love
Craig,
his
man,
work.
love you, man.
Craig, what's up, brother?
Hell
My,
yeah. He's gonna be he's in our documentary, our Jersey Metal documentary,
that's
which
great.
we're in the still in filming. We have about another, I would say, early 2027. We'll probably be filming too.
Right.
We have some. We did some pretty big people so far. Kirk Hammett from Metallica.
That's great.
We had to go visit him down in Landover, Maryland, and photograph him at the Washington Commander Stadium. And we interviewed like Bobby Blitz from Overkill. We went to his house,
Okay.
and we interviewed JJ French from Twisted Sister. We got like Federico Furio from The Sopranos.
Okay.
He came to see us. We interviewed John Scher, Keith
Oh.
Roth, Mark Striegel, George from the Dead End Kids.
Right.
You know?
Keith Roth, I still hear him on Hair Nation
Oh yeah,
and the
he's a
Boneyard.
good guy, man. I met him. It's funny, I met him. I actually photographed Blue Oyster Cult when they were Soft White Underbelly for a moment in Lemoore, in Brooklyn. And afterwards, I went out to my car. It was the first time I actually went to Lemoore in 1982.
Okay.
And I had the car and my friend, and we parked on the same street as the club. Went out after the show, which was like 3:30, quarter to 4 in the morning. Two of my tires were slashed. I'm like, fuck. So I ended up changing one of the tires. There was an automotive shop that opened up the street, across from the club. Asked him if he could find us a tire. He said, yeah, I'll go find you a tire. I'll come back in like 20 minutes, whatever. So I went across the street, met a couple of guys in Blue Oyster Cult, Buck Dahmer, and their drummer. They ended up giving us tickets for me and my friend to see them in Asbury Park within a few weeks later. So we go back to the automotive shop. The guy goes, I got a tire for you. Great tire. I'm like, really? It fits? He goes, well, it fits, but you're going to have to drive a little slow on the way home. Like, I go, how slow? I would say about like 20, 30 miles an hour. I'm like, dude, I live like an hour and a half away from here or whatever. So he's like, well, do your best. And so I got to cross two bridges, I got to, go down highways and stuff. So I didn't get home till about like 8 o'clock in the morning,
Just made your drive like 4 hours longer, right?
It fit, but it didn't fit the way I needed it to fit. But after that, when the show came up in New Jersey at the convention hall, my friend couldn't make it. I ended up getting my tickets at the will call, and I said, you know what? I had an extra ticket or a couple of them. I'll just give it to somebody. And I just turned around. And the first person that I gave it to was Keith Roth. And that was the first time I met Keith Roth.
So now, were you on the Monsters of Rock cruise?
No, I have never been on a cruise yet. I kind of like being,
Grounded?
yeah,
I'm with you.
and just like kind of going to a show and then maybe traveling around on my own or with my wife. And like when we went to, let's say, overseas, we went to Amsterdam.
Right.
And
that had to be a fun trip.
yeah, it was great. It was my 60th birthday. We went to multiple venues. It was such a fun time. And I saw a bunch of saw some bands and stuff. And I go back there a lot. And I kind of like when I go away, I kind of like traveling around on my own. And it's great seeing people, but like I think just for me personally, I like the festivals where I can go to my own place to stay, hang out, and then go back when I need to, the following day.
Gotcha.
And also, I haven't been really invited yet, but if that does happen, I would definitely check it out.
I would think that you of all people would be invited.
Sure. I just never had an invite or a chance to go yet.
Right. So, hopping back into
Yep.
real quick. So now, what was the whole again with the whole deal? You had written a book about him.
Yeah, it's like I said, I started photographing him in 1975, and that just continued on when he was in Black Sabbath, and then later on he became a solo artist, and that's when I met him.
Okay.
Personally, I met him backstage at the the Meadowlands, and the photos in the book, and photos from that night are in there, and some backstage stuff. And then also I photographed him as the years went on. I just kept going back to see him, and then just writing some things down about the shows, and that's where I kind of got some of the background with the writing to get that stories going. And then also once I saw a bunch of my photos, I kind of like, wow, I remember what happened that night, and I just would write it down. And so I had to piece all that together, and I presented it to a book company over in England, and they loved the idea and wanted to do a book.
They picked it up.
So they picked it up, and then we ended up doing a hard cover first with a photo session that I did of Ronnie and his band, but they just used one of Ronnie, and then on their own they decided to change the cover and the title, and I was pissed because they didn't tell me about it, and they went from a photo session bright cover to a darker cover with a magenta color looking Dio looking in my direction, but I preferred the bright photo session. It just stood out more, but it's in their hands, and I couldn't get involved with it. But with Jersey Metal, I'm fully involved, along with Alan Tecchio, my co-author and partner.
Right, that's pretty much you, like balls to the wall type.
That's it. We had the book. We made it over at Alan's house.
Okay.
We put the book together there, where we went through all the photos. Most of them came from my own archive, and then others came from either bands or certain fans that we would run into that we knew. And then we just put everything on the computer through a template that the book company gave us, which was Book Baby. That's out of Pensauken. They also have CD Baby down there. Mm-hmm. And with their help, we were able to put the Jersey Metal book in print form in a Jersey way.
Right. Now CD Baby, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the CD duplication company?
I would think so, yeah. I don't get involved in that end.
Right.
I'm more in the publishing end thing. So, but I think it was in the same building.
Right.
So that's where we had the book published, and so it's been selling really well.
Right.
We're getting.
The only reason why I ask, because the bands that I've been affiliated with over the years, they use either that company or something similar to it for like their CD duplication to get them out,
Sure.
merch for shows and whatnot. Sounds like you've had a pretty interesting life, my friend.
It is, and I never had children, so my life kind of just kept going on as a big fan of music and a photographer, without having to take a detour. I just kept going on the same route,
path, yeah.
And that led me to where I'm at today because of it.
We just got a huge comment from Craig Buckman.
Nice.
Which I'm going to kind of look smart for a minute.
Okay.
And I'm going to read it. All right, this is another exclusive, so half of my face is hidden. Thanks for the shout out. Great show, you guys. Thanks for bringing back the stories. Great interview, Frank. Thank you. And Alan, thanks, John. Nice. Okay. Smartness over. Actually, no. We gotta hop back in. So now, you and Alan Tecchio, you just decide to write this book.
Right.
And I'm sure it's probably both of your trials and tribulations throughout the whole
right. And
industry.
during this whole process, as I was picking photos, the stories just started to flood, onto the computer from just all the different memories that I just saw with all my photographs. And so the book was done while COVID had happened. It took 2.5 years. And by the time COVID kind of simmered down a little bit, the book was able to come out. But
Right.
there was no concerts going on, no nothing going on, right?
Right.
So I mean, there were still magazines that had to be printed, for people to get their monthly dose of metal or rock.
Right.
And so my photos were very useful during this time period. And then we were doing the book at the same time. We were religiously seeing each other like almost every week,
Right.
and getting pages, and it's just putting there. It's like a giant puzzle, just
Right.
putting the pieces together into the template, into the book form, and then before we know it, we had a great book going, but it was getting to a point where we had to decide how we were going to, like, how many pages we were going to have. So at first we were going to do 69 in 2021,
Right.
and then it was like, oh man, that's like going to be over 1,000 pages or whatever. We said nah. So Alan said the best way to come up with this would be to have it in 3 volumes, and I was like, and then I thought about it, and I'm like, yeah, because there's no way we're going to be able to sell these. I mean, we can, but it's going to be so expensive, and tough to carry around.
Right.
And so we just decided to keep it and split it up into 3 volumes.
Now the documentary.
Right. That started over a year ago.
Now that's probably going to be probably longer than one of the Godfather movies.
Well, that's going from 69 to the present day.
Okay.
Whenever that ends, probably in 2027. We'll probably, like I said, be interviewing people for the next 6 months or more. We have more people in mind that we want to get and interview.
Right.
That should be in the
Hopefully I can help you out with
documentary,
that.
and it'll help us with our volume 2 and volume 3.
Okay.
And volume 3 is going to be from 2005 to like 2020, right? Maybe right before COVID hit.
Okay.
Because 2.5 years or more without really any music, it's just kind of would be a good time to stop at that point.
Oh, by the way, Craig says he's sorry, but we're getting him excited.
Uh-oh. Well, don't worry. We're going to get him a little bit more excited.
That's it. Get him outright riled up.
Wait till he sees the film. The
Yeah,
film
right.
is very good. Right now, you could see a teaser
Okay.
on YouTube. It's titled Jersey Metal Trailer.
Okay.
And it's not really, it's just a teaser because we have more time to put in a couple more teasers, I believe, before the documentary comes out, like in the film festival
Right.
form, and then hopefully it'll go into some movie theaters and then on the streaming services.
Well,
And
I would hope that it would be at least on a couple of screens in New Jersey.
sure, of course, yeah. There's a couple I already have in mind, which when it comes time, I'll stop by those theaters and see if we
Right.
can hook that up.
I mean, just like a buddy of mine. I don't know if you ever heard of a filmmaker, Danny Provenzano. He wrote This Thing of Ours.
Oh, I think I heard the title.
Yeah, he before he went the streaming route, he had it on a couple screens in Jersey, and then
We're also thinking about doing like maybe like a 6 or 8 part series on streaming, so we get more of the interviews that we're doing. Because if
that would be
the
wild.
documentary usually they run about an hour and 40 minutes or so. So we're gonna take clips from everybody,
Right.
and then piece that all together. And our editor, Jason Stewart, is doing an excellent job, and you can
That's
see
great.
some of his magic on the in the teaser trailer.
I mean, we're gonna have a bunch of little teasers come tomorrow morning.
Cool.
We're gonna probably run another week after tonight
Oh, okay.
because I do probably after any given podcast another 40 clips of the interview.
Great.
Plus, I'll post the entire interview on Instagram,
Hmm.
which that'll probably be good for like another 1,000 views.
That's awesome.
So,
Yeah.
that's a big part of it. I mean,
That's it.
you
Yeah,
know,
it's a promotion, man.
exactly. I
Yep.
mean, Jersey metal. That's where it's all about.
That's right.
Can't deny that one.
That's it. Can't.
I mean, from the Stone Pony days, the Fast Lane days,
Mm-hmm.
working your way up Club Benet, Playpen, Birch Hill,
Close Encounters.
Close Encounters. Wow, yeah.
Yeah. Soap Factory,
Uh,
Circus,
Mingles.
Mothers.
Yeah. Mingles, I was actually there.
The
And,
Loop Lounge, Connections.
and I'm going to say I was still in high school.
Okay.
I saw Lizzie Borden there
Oh wow. And
at Mingles on
all
Highway
right.
35 in South
Oh
Amboy.
wow. That was what, late 80s, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I photographed Lizzie Borden a few times. But I remember seeing them like at Lemoore East was one of them. And
They were on the Visual
Lemoore.
Eyes tour.
Yes, I saw that tour, and I think they played the Cat Club. I remember him coming out of the TV set.
Yeah.
There was a few places that I photographed Lizzie Borden at back in the day.
So after this show, the club burned down.
Which one?
Mingles.
Okay.
It burned down. It was either the day after
Mm-hmm.
or 2 days after.
Oh, Lizzie played.
Yeah.
That's
And
crazy. Luckily, no one was hopefully inside the club when that happened.
no, it was definitely on and off day
Good.
because they were still like, I believe this was on like a Saturday night.
Right.
They were closed Sunday,
Oh,
Monday, and until the
yeah.
next weekend.
right.
But that club was a mixed bag as well. You had one night was a metal night.
Mm-hmm.
Another night we could have had the freestyle explosion
Yeah.
or whatever.
Sure.
Whatever kind of entertainment.
Yep.
But my friend Donna was saying that the Jersey Metal trailer is on YouTube,
Yes.
giving it the shout out.
It's great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, okay. Got to, so, who would you say our local legends are here in New Jersey?
Well, obviously, Bon Jovi, Bruce Springsteen, Frankie Valli, Frank Sinatra,
That would probably be the Mount
And-
Rushmore of Jersey.
That's right. And then some of the other local legends would be like Monroe and Dead End Kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had mentioned Billy
I mean,
when
like,
we were talking earlier.
yeah, and Bon Jovi grew up not too far from here. Same thing with Bruce. They grew up right down the road.
Well, Bruce was more of a shore boy.
Yeah, and then we're like at the beginning of the shore, right? Down where we're at.
Yeah,
here.
we're like at the northern end of the shore.
Right.
Or central end of the shore.
Yeah.
So Bruce was more like, I'm going to say like Long Branch, Asbury Park area he grew
Right.
up in.
Right. See, for me, that's like I live way up north, so
Right.
they're like this is like in that whole same shore area for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Donna Sayreville.
There you go.
So, yeah, I mean, Bon Jovi right here in Sayreville, which is 10 minutes up the road.
That's right. That's local boy.
The Skid Row guys,
Yep. And then you got the ones you were talking about earlier in the neighborhood. In your
Oh,
neighborhood.
yes. Dave DePietro from TT Quick,
That's right.
JD DeServio,
That's it.
Black Label Society.
Yep. Close
Right,
by.
right in my neighborhood.
That's great, man. It's great to have talent this close.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Dave now owns the North Shore School of Music here in Hazlitt.
Oh, cool.
And,
Teaching other people.
and also, let's not forget, he has a studio over there as well. It's called Studio Z, which is basically a recording studio,
Mhm.
but also a live venue.
Oh, great.
It
Great.
still holds about 60, 70 people. You can put on a live show over there.
That's cool.
The staging and everything is right there.
Sure.
And some great things are happening over there.
Awesome.
So, Love JD, Tyler 2. I'm getting my money's worth over here.
Cool, man.
You're getting a lot of comments
Good.
tonight.
That's great. I love it.
After, because I used to use a different streaming service, like,
Okay.
for the brain of it,
Sure.
and it got to be a little expensive for what you got.
Yep.
Switched over to something new, kind of the same interface, but still a little quirky. So I had to kind of work that out. Now I kind of got things permed like a kitten.
Cool.
So, but yeah, it works out. I mean, the old fun house. I mean,
Oh, I love this place. It's awesome.
the new home of Frank White, right here at the fun house. You heard
Yeah,
it
I might
first.
be back here again.
Oh,
Definitely.
there's definitely going to be a part two to
Oh
this
yeah.
interview.
Got some photos, man. I love it.
That I can tell you. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll definitely do this on a different level.
Yeah. I wish I had a place like this just to do bands in, you have enough room where you can have bands in here all the time.
Well, that could always be arranged
Sure, I think so.
because
Knowing you and your with your equipment and
well, here's the thing. All we got to do is really drop this banner.
uh-huh.
There's still a 3-tier roller.
Oh, like that you bring down and all?
Yeah, that
Oh, I
you,
love that. It's great.
that I'm actually expecting some new rolls as we speak.
Oh, cool. The big ones.
Yeah,
They hold a lot of people.
well, what I'm looking at is like some of the black backdrops that you get.
Right.
They're kind of like a grayish black.
Okay.
I wanted the deep black.
Right. It's like a shade lighter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I wanted the like the alpine white thing, like the bright bursty,
Oh, okay.
like kind of something like you would get like if you had a cyclorama wall.
Mm-hmm. And you have some lights you can make
Of course.
color up. Yeah.
Of course, I have about 6 lights in here. So
How long have you been photographing?
since '97.
Okay. So you got a bunch of years under your belt then. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, I started out the old Minolta 35 millimeter,
Okay.
and
I had my first camera that my parents bought for me was a Yashica.
okay,
Yeah, back in like 77, around there, and started taking pictures immediately with it, and then I ended trade that camera in, got my first Nikon, and kept upgrading through the years like everybody else was.
now your first Nikon, was it a film camera?
Yeah, it was a film camera, right? And those film cameras, man, I was shooting film for about 30 years until digital came in.
Those film cameras, though, they were workhorses.
Definitely. And you really had to be a professional to get the kind of work that I ended up getting. And it just came to me through my mother and through my own way of being an artist as a child and just framing a photo to look like a portrait. And once I got that down, I kind of expanded on that and just went to all different types of different ways to photograph. And it worked out really well for my sales in all the different outlets that use my photographs. But back in the day, I shot mostly slide film, took some print film, black and white and color, and digital today. You can't beat it.
No.
You can, see the photos the moment you shoot them. There's no money except when you have to just buy a digital card,
Right.
but you can keep using that card over and over again. And, it's great having the freedom to be able to do these things now with digital that you couldn't do with film. But it's good to have the film because it's a hard copy. Here,
Exactly.
digital can be erased, but you have to back it up, I would say, multiple times.
Of course. I mean, I could
Definitely.
just imagine your archive.
Oh yeah, it's huge. It's huge. I have to, big terabytes. I got to get a new one. And they're all filled. They're getting 4 terabytes filled up, and but I back things up. There was one of the drives I had that went on me, but a lot of the stuff was scanned from slides, and there was a few digitals that got lost, but I still have it in case one day I can
Yeah, it's funny you say that
bring it
because
back.
I also DJ.
Okay,
So a lot of my music I stream now.
right.
However, try being in a packed club on a Saturday night
Mm,
and you're like playing like club music, right?
right.
And your hard drive goes down.
Oh, God, you got to have a backup quick. Got to have that
Yeah,
record player on the side, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
You know, you would always have that CD deck
Uh-huh.
coming out of the mixer
Right.
just with something lined up, just so you could just hit that button and go.
That's it.
And then once you get your computer back up,
Hmm.
then you just kind of cut into it.
Yeah. And being a photographer, you got to have backup as well.
Yes,
You got to have more than one camera when you go to a show,
of course.
especially a festival. You got to bring, I would bring, a few bodies with me, multiple lenses, extra, batteries,
Right.
chips, whatever I needed to last me a weekend of craziness.
Andrea, what's up, hon? How you doing?
What's up?
This is Frank. But yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, obviously that backup camera is just that thing that lives in your camera bag,
Yeah.
but it's ready for battle at any
Oh
given
yeah.
time.
I make sure it's ready to go.
Like my main camera is the step down from what you have.
Okay.
I have the Canon. I mean, I'm sorry, the Nikon D750.
Yep.
You have the 850.
Yeah, I have two of them, which I probably will soon be trading in for a mirrorless.
Okay, you're probably going to get the Z9 or something like that.
Yeah, something that's because I noticed that the mirrorless are a little smaller bodies, so I want the
Right.
one that's what I'm used to.
That's what we're shooting this podcast with tonight.
Oh,
We're actually shooting with a Canon R50.
oh, nice.
So that's their newer R series,
Right,
and
and they can be multiple usable.
yeah, I mean this is great for web.
Oh, definitely.
I used to actually have four Sonys,
Oh, really?
the A6300s,
Mm-hmm.
but they get hot too quick. You know, you're into a
Right.
podcast for 30 minutes or so, and your
Mm.
battery's burning up.
Oh boy.
You know, and it could burn the whole camera.
Right, right. So you got to get the right ones that can last a lot longer.
I also have cameras by Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those little band cameras
Right.
for multi-angle. It works,
That's great.
especially for stuff like this.
Yeah, definitely.
And you could operate them off of two AA batteries.
That's cool, man. Yeah, if you can get it done the easiest way possible.
Absolutely. So, obviously, this was okay. Right.
Yeah. Well,
Well, I'm just saying, 86.
oh, the
Yeah.
one with about how I got started in the cannabis business.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, I was a fan of the marijuana leaf for many years.
Okay.
I would smell it at concerts. I would see it all the time, and I had iron-on T-shirts of the marijuana leaf. And then years later, I'm living up in Franklin Borough in Sussex County, New Jersey,
Okay.
and a marijuana grow facility moves into my neighborhood,
Okay.
literally 2 minutes from where I live. I mean, this was like, and my wife wanted me to get some more income coming in, even though the photography was doing pretty good, but I needed to get it where I was getting health insurance from a job and also that steady same amount of money coming in each.
Each and every week.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I think I'll give marijuana grow a try. And so I filled out an application and they hired me pretty quickly. And the first thing I was doing was I was packing 8 bags of
Okay.
weed. And so at 6 o'clock in the morning, there would be a bucket in front of me. I would open up that bucket, and that smell of a whole barrel of weed was just right in my face.
And
I
you're
was
like,
like,
you're
whoa,
like robust.
whoa, that's yeah, what a wake up smell, right?
Oh, I'm
And
sure. What a punch in the mouth
so
that is.
I ended up being pretty good at that. And they asked me if I could start doing pre-rolls. We had a machine that would take, we would put the cones in these holes, and then we put weed over all of it. It would shake into the cones, and then we would have us, each of us had our own little table area, and we would get a whole bunch of cones, and we would tap them off, and we'd, cover them and make sure they were all tight. And we would, start piling them up for each table, and I was getting bigger and bigger piles all the time.
And then I'm sure there's a packaging department.
Yeah, and that really came along with another room, but I ended up going out also and doing deliveries to. We had 3 stores at the time,
Okay.
and this is when weed was still medical only, and we weren't rec yet in New Jersey. So I ended up delivering a few times during the week while I was packing weed as well. And they didn't have like cultivation, meaning with working with the plants at that moment. All they had was the packaging and driver positions. So I took both, and I knew within a few months I would I wanted to move up
Right.
into the grow spot, and so I started going there 7 days a week because it's right down the street from me.
Yeah.
So I was able to spend a few hours each day on the weekends. They put me in first, like in the veg department, which is a room where the plants come after they're in the mother and propagation room, where the plants get clipped from the mother tree, and they get put into these little pots where they grow a little bit, and then they get pushed over into the vegetation department, and then we at the vet in the veg room, they grow till almost to before the buds start coming out, and then they go into the flower department, and
Right.
that's our department. And I was in those rooms for a few weekends, and then by the end of the month of December, they said that I have a cultivation position in the flower department,
That's
and
great.
so I've been growing weeds since January 1st of 2022,
That's wild.
and I've been in that department ever since, and it's been wonderful. I love working with the plants, and you know, uh, you know, taking manicuring them, getting to grow really big, and get the big buds on there, and then we have different departments now where the
Right.
buds can go in to the dry rooms to get packaged, to become gummies, and to be also into vapes. We can make vapes at our location as well. And so I learned a little bit about, uh, you know, uh, packaging and in those departments, and it helps every now and then. There's a lot of overtime, so you can go into another department to help out whenever you
Right.
need to. And post harvest basically is a room where all the weed is hanging upside down. You get all the THC dripping into the buds, and then you take them down after about a week or so, and then you start taking all the buds off the stalks and everything, and get them into barrels, and they get sent off to another room for curing.
Wow. This is
Yeah,
really a science.
yeah. There's a lot goes on with working with marijuana and
Yeah.
growing it and cultivating it.
Actually, a grow house just moved into this neighborhood as
Oh
well.
wow, yeah. They're popping up all over New Jersey.
And this organization in general,
Hmm.
the gentleman that owns it, he's a pharmacist actually.
Okay,
He has like 7 or 8 pharmacies locally,
right.
and he'll also have 7 or 8 dispensaries as
Oh,
well.
okay. Yeah, and plus we have 3 stores, but besides those 3 stores, we have other state licensed facilities around the state, as far down as Cape May, out West Jersey, and as far north as you can go in New Jersey, and we service a lot.
Right.
And when it went rec, it was a big deal. We had tons of people coming to our stores, and we started getting more and more outlets to sell our product at. So it's
Great.
been really successful, and we have a lot of people working. We have a couple of shifts. There are positions available if anybody's interested in doing that. But there's also grow facilities in other parts of the state, so you might
Right.
not have to drive an hour. You could drive maybe 15 minutes.
Well, I'll tell you
Or
what,
if you live near where I live, you could drive only a couple minutes.
15 minutes? That don't sound bad to
It
me.
doesn't at all. I actually, where I live, I come home for lunch every day.
Because
Go
I'll,
back to work, and I love it.
cause I'll tell you what, my job, I drive an hour there, an
Oh,
hour home.
okay.
But the ride home isn't bad
Mm-hmm.
because I drive the shoreline home.
I got you.
So it's kind of like a peaceful
Right, right.
unwind to my day.
Sure.
That's what
Yeah.
I like about it.
Yeah, I miss everything. I don't have to see any traffic. I don't have to pay for a lot of gas.
You on foot?
Huh?
Do you go on foot?
I could, but where I live, it's up by a lot of bears.
It needs say
Yeah,
no more.
and they're basically in our backyard. You know, they're scavengers. They go, especially on garbage day. They can smell the garbage a mile away,
Right.
and they're not actually really close to it. So they're scrounging through the cans that are left out overnight. I bring out our cans like right before I go to work, and usually the
Right.
garbage people pick up about within an hour later. Otherwise, you go down the street as I'm going to work, and you see just garbage strewn out all over
Right.
the street and the person's yard, and those are the ones where the bears like really went through it.
So also, I just want to give a quick shout out to my buddy Joe. He owns Slow Hand Guitar Shop
Oh, cool,
right here in Cliffwood, where
nice.
we're broadcasting from tonight. He actually works on all my great guitars that I have hanging out
Yeah, I
here.
see you got a whole bunch of them there.
Yeah, the two ones with the paint jobs on them,
Mm-hmm.
they were done by Guitar Guru Rick Giarmo. He's actually out of South Carolina now.
Oh, okay,
Originally a Jersey boy,
right,
but have an '87 West Tone that's all custom,
nice.
and a
I see you got the Kramer.
yeah, that's a Kramer. That's a Gibson era Kramer though. And actually, the other two that are hanging up down there, they're also Gibson era Kramers.
Oh, nice.
But Rick's also rebuilding a Neptune era Kramer.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh
gonna have,
wow.
it's gonna have Chucky on it.
Cool.
Chucky, my man.
Yeah, I see you're into horror too, which is
Yeah,
great.
yeah. Horror's like
Yep. I was telling you about the Chiller Expo,
yeah,
and how I got involved with the Chiller Expo, and it happens to be up in Parsippany at the Hilton all the time. One of the guys that had a spot in the collector's world back in the late '70s,
right.
Kevin Clement. He was selling music, albums, magazines, and so forth. And I was only a couple booths away from him, and we got to know each other for a couple of years. And then all of a sudden, he left, and this other guy comes in called Jerry Rubino, and he was also another record dealer, and he was also a writer for his local Secaucus, New Jersey town newspaper.
Right.
And he was able to get my very first photo printed of Greg Lake from Emerson, Lake and Palmer in the newspaper
Nice.
in December of 80, was it 80, 81, I believe. And then 82, I had my first photo in a magazine of Jorma Kaukonen from the circus in Bergenfield.
Right.
And that was in I think, December issue of Relics magazine.
So I'm guessing the photo of Greg Lake, that was probably right before he joined Asia, right?
Yes. Yeah, well, Asia started around 1980, I believe.
Right. But
Yeah.
John Wetton was there for a while.
Right.
Then when they did that whole Asia in Asia
Uh-huh.
at the Budokan,
Yeah. I think I saw Asia in 1980. And then I saw Greg Lake on his own, and he had Gary Moore in the band. And at the time, the last time I saw Gary Moore was when he was with Thin Lizzy.
okay.
And that was a show at the Garden in New York, and they opened for Queen.
Actually, my friend Joe, who does my guitars, he's building right now a Gary Moore tribute guitar.
Oh wow, Gary, man, I miss him. He was a great guitar player.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Yeah,
this guitar definitely does it justice.
nice.
And actually, Joe's a fellow photographer as
Oh,
well,
cool.
so he'll be posting some stuff.
Nice.
But I mean, I guess the overall aura here of the Funhouse is to become a small staple in the music community.
Right, and Jersey Metal is right there.
Exactly.
Keeping things together.
Absolutely. I
Report.
mean, listen, whether we had one, two, or three,
That's it.
and we got a movie coming, you know.
Yep. The documentary is well on its way to hopefully becoming a big success, and we're like I said, filming every week pretty much, and around the state, there are clubs that are coming back, that weren't there back in the day, and one of the big clubs up in North Jersey, Dingbats.
Yes.
Freddie Dingo, he owns that club and his restaurant and bar across the street, Dingo's. He's been keeping the scene alive, man, for years.
Yeah,
And
he
I
has.
love that guy. He's going to be part of our documentary, part of our second book, because he opened up Dingoes and Dingbats within a year or two apart from each other, and he's been going strong ever since. And we look forward to working with him more as the days
Right.
go on. We'll probably get some more interviews done over by his place, and
That's a great venue actually.
yeah, it is. It's a great venue. I love working with Freddie, and then also we have a new club that opened up a few years ago, a Debonair Club in Teaneck.
Yes.
That used to be called Mexicali Live.
Yes, I remember that.
And before that was Mexicali Blues, and they also are keeping the scene alive there. And you got the Starland Ballroom, of course, doing justice for the mid New Jersey.
Actually, believe just last month, I believe DePietro and Kenny Dubman played at Debonair.
Oh, that's right. Actually, I think Alan went to it.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because Dave had mentioned to me that he just saw Alan.
Right. I saw their show last year at the Elks Lodge, I think it was in Red Bank.
Okay.
And we met the drummer for King's X.
Very
He was at
nice.
the show. Yeah. It was very
Yeah.
cool.
So again, we're going to extend a couple minutes if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
So again, I'm pulling out the Bible, Jersey Metal.
Pick it up.
Check it out.
You'll love it.
So this is definitely going to be a good read. I'm going to probably be reading this for like the next month.
He's got these pages already picked out.
Yeah. So
Places.
I'm actually going to open it up and I'm going to show you some of Frank's great work. And I do hope to get a chance to work side by side with you one day.
Sure, definitely. I would love to work with you, especially with your photo equipment and your good sized rooms to work in.
I honestly think we would probably be the perfect 1-2 punch on that.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm just going to randomly.
That's a good shot right there. From
Yeah.
back in on the boardwalk in Seaside Heights when the metal scene kind of invaded Seaside Heights for a while there.
So we're going to.
So this was a photo taken by a girl that I guess I gave my camera to, and I'm in the middle with the blue leather jacket, and that was right in the middle of the boardwalk. Actually, it's right in front of where Bon Jovi did his video.
Oh, for the In and Out of Love video, right?
Yep, that's right. And that was like a really good hot spot back in the day, in that year in '86, to be hanging out on the boardwalk. And we dressed up like we were going to like one of the Jersey rock clubs.
Right.
We were wearing leather jackets, leather pants, cool shirts we bought at like Two Tone
Right.
or one of the rock stores here in New Jersey.
Now, also, I
And-
got to get the back of the cover here.
Yep, my wife Michelle,
With,
she photographed us. That was
Frank
right.
and Alan.
Yep,
Frank's the dude with the real long hair.
yep. Still have it, thank God.
Yeah, right. Unfortunately, I lost mine about
Well, that's like a style that's been going strong for a long time.
I might have been 22, 23. So, but
Yeah, I had many styles of hair. That's my longest point. Definitely.
I didn't go that long,
Yeah.
but I was probably at about that long.
Oh, okay. Halfway, about halfway.
Yeah,
I
and
gotcha.
then at some point I had the Joe Dirt look,
Oh, all right.
the whole mullet.
Gotcha. I never had that really. I kind of like kept it always kind of like long, but it got longer and longer as years went on.
There was something in here that I wanted to show, which I'm not sure if I passed it or not.
What was that?
The Belushi thing.
Oh, okay.
Was that back?
That's up here. I believe was that 81. Let's see. Yeah, right here. So we found out. Wow, it was a crazy thing how this happened. I was we were out at a concert. I think I was selling tickets.
Is that like one over?
No, this you could start it here.
Okay.
And we ended up hearing about AC/DC staying at the Parker Meridian Hotel in New York City.
Okay.
And I was a huge fan of the band, especially with Bon Scott and him passing away. And then we got to see Brian Johnson recently at the Nassau Coliseum in New York. And they were staying in New York City. And we found out, I went to the hotel. I actually used the house phone, called up Angus Young's room, and it sounded like Angus on the phone. And Angus said, "We'll be down tomorrow, mate, in the corridor. If you want to come down to see us." And I go, and then he told us the time, and we went down to the hotel the following day, and there they were. And then we had such a great time with them that we ended up getting invited to their show at Madison Square Garden, and there was an after party. And right here, we got to meet John Belushi. He was sitting right next to our table.
And there you see it, folks.
And we were Brian and Angus let us sit with, we were sitting at their table, me and my friend Richie, and John Belushi was just right over my shoulder. I was like, I turned around, I can't believe who I'm seeing. I was a big fan of Animal House, Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
I went to see the Blues Brothers perform at the Palladium in 1980. So I was a really big fan of his acting and his performancing. And I asked if I could take a photo with him. He seemed a little coked up at the time, He just wasn't kind of in that photo taking mood. So I go, "Hey, can I get an autograph?" He goes, "Sure." He had a pen, and they all had place cards in each of the tables in the party room at the Garden for AC/DC.
Okay.
Because it was for Those About to Rock album that got released, and they presented the band with a cake at the table I was sitting at. Now, the other three guys, Malcolm, Phil, and Cliff, they were sitting at the table across from us. So everyone got together when the cake came over. But I asked John if I could have him sign the back of the place card that was on his table.
Right.
And he signed the back of it, and I got it home in one piece, but I didn't want to it wouldn't fit my album, my photo album correctly, well, my scrapbook, I should say. And I just cut it down to size. So on the other side is part of the canon that's from the cover.
That's
and within a year later, he passed away.
Wow. He was like the Chris Farley of that time.
Right. And then Chris Farley comes along and just kind of blows up, and then he passed away too.
Yeah, and kind of like around the same age as well.
Yeah. He didn't live too long.
Saturday Night Royalty.
Yep. And
Saturday Night Live royalty gone too soon.
Yeah, and I was able to meet one of the original cast members. It was amazing.
I mean, even when they did that 50th anniversary special,
right?
Like Sandler sang that song.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who was the best cast?
Yeah.
There were so many great comedians, actors,
definitely,
that came off of that show.
Yeah.
You can't really, you can narrow it down.
Uh-huh.
because always like the first rendition's the best.
Right.
And then you got the Murphy years with Piscopo and
Yep.
those guys.
Sure.
Then the Colin Quinn years
Hmm.
and all that kind of stuff. I
Yep.
couldn't even tell you who was on the show
And
today.
I remember a lot of Saturday nights after a concert, before I was driving a car, I would take the bus home like I did the first time with Led Zeppelin, and would come home, put my camera case down, and turn on Saturday Night Live and watch all
Just
the
unwind.
funny antics. Man, it was great, great show.
So yeah. So I mean, you really have an amazing book here.
Thank you.
I really, really am looking forward to diving
It's
into it.
awesome. And volume 2, we're gonna blow that up, man. We got a ton of pages already, happening, and we're just piecing that second puzzle together.
Do you have a somewhat of a predicted release on that?
I would say probably in 2027,
Okay.
just because of the things that are going on now. We're concentrating a lot on the documentary, but we're getting in. Stories from either myself or some band members. Craig, who
Right.
we interviewed, he gave us a whole bunch of his photos of him drumming. We could even use some of his transcribe for the book, and so he's one of our collaborators, with
Right.
the new project, and so we have other bands that we're interviewing and getting photos for and information for both the documentary and for the book.
I'll tell you what, locally, as far as drummers go, there's two drummers that stick out that are probably the two hardest hitting son of a bitches I've ever met in my life.
Okay.
And one of them I'll get into a quick story with you.
Right.
But one of them is definitely our boy here, Craig Buckman.
Oh yeah, he's a monster.
I thought
On
he
the
was gonna.
drums.
I thought he was gonna like put his foot through his kick drum one night where I was at a rehearsal with him. And Steve Cardenas from the band Rawway.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you heard of
Yeah,
that.
of course.
Okay.
I've seen them a few times.
Okay.
Photographed them as well.
Steve's a very good friend of mine. Actually, so is the whole band is.
Right. Yeah.
Me and Steve were in Guitar Center one day, and he's just sort of like beating the living hell out of a kid.
Put a few dents in the
More than a
skin.
few dents.
Yeah.
But he borderline broke a kick drum skin.
Oh boy. So you had to pay for a new one. You had to pay
No,
for that
no,
one.
we kind of got out real quick.
Oh yeah. Got off the drums out. We're going.
And then one day we're actually in my old recording studio in Rawway,
Right.
and he seen on my computer that I had a bunch of like instrumentals,
Hmm.
and he picks "Love on the Rocks" from Neil Diamond.
Oh, wow. That's funny.
I got to show you the video; it's hysterical.
That probably is.
But he's just like, I tried to get him into comedy, but
Sure.
that wasn't in the cards for him. Long live rock and roll for him, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But okay, so we're gonna wind things down in a minute. We're just gonna go through our lightning round here. I'm gonna
Okay.
put my dork gear back on. Okay. So, what was your best band to ever photograph?
Um, Overall, the most outrageous band I've ever photographed has been Kiss,
Okay.
followed by Iron Maiden. Those two bands, they put on such an amazing show. But Kiss kind of outshines them because they were around longer. They were like so many fans around the world, just like Iron Maiden. But Kiss just outbeats them a little bit just because of the amount of things that they do during a course of a show.
Right, more theatrical.
Yeah.
Kind of get you into the show a little more.
Yeah, and as a kid in the 70s, mid 70s is when I got into them, and I was just like blown away by them.
Right.
Like, God, is every show. I would see them for all these years.
Well, I'll tell you, I seen Kiss quite a few times myself.
Right.
And I don't know if you ever went to a show at PNC here in Homedale.
Of course, I went to a lot of them.
Okay, so you know how they had like the cannons and whatever.
Right.
I mean, and I was literally right next to the light board,
Okay.
like right in the center of the.
Uh-huh.
And every time those things would go up, my stomach would like fall out from under me, and that's a pretty big tank. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But I was like, almost ready to convulse.
Right.
Okay. Also, so what do you think the Mount Rushmore of Jersey rock would be?
I think I mentioned it earlier.
Yes, you did. Actually, that's
Bon Jovi, Bruce Springsteen, Frankie Valli, and Sinatra. Those would be the four heads I would think would be on the Mount Rushmore of rock from New Jersey.
that's actually fairly accurate,
Yeah.
I would think. And the last questions of the night, we already actually discussed the upcoming projects.
Yeah, I'm still we're working on the documentary, as I mentioned, volume 2 of Jersey Metal. I also have other projects going on with other companies. I'm working with Banger Films on a documentary on Neil Peart,
Okay.
where I'm supplying a good amount of photos to that, and I'm working with Warner Music on a few different box set projects. Working with Cream Magazine with the Chuck K story,
Right.
where I'm providing a good part of the photos for that, if not all of them. And then I have some magazines in different parts of the world that I just got a whole shipment of magazines from Spain.
Okay.
A couple magazines I work with over there, they sent me a whole bunch of magazines that I have photos in. Instead of sending it to me once every month or every other month, they send it to me like quarterly or every 6 months.
Right.
And I have like some a couple band shoots that are in the works,
Okay.
coming up soon. And then I have like some shows. Hopefully, we'll be seeing Rush when they come around, Iron Maiden.
Well, just so you know, if they're Jersey bands, I will extend the invite to the Fun House for you to do your shoots.
Cool, that'd be awesome, man.
It would be
Appreciate it.
it would be a great
Yeah,
a
of
great way to get
course.
the name out there.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome.
Okay, last question of the night. So again, I'm gonna put it up here. I'm gonna get these off because that's annoying as hell. Once again, Jersey Metal. Check it out.
man.
And where to buy and how to find.
Yeah, you can find it in a bunch of the record stores here in New Jersey, and jerseymetalbook.com. Definitely place to go to get it.
And remember, be on the lookout in 2027 at some point for Jersey Metal Volume 2. And also be on the lookout for Jersey Metal the documentary.
That's right. And we have right now I have a hookup with a brewery here in New Jersey, Heightstown Brewery,
Okay.
and we're doing a Jersey Metal beer.
Oh, that's great.
And will be the second run. It'll probably come out in September. We have a party that's open to the public, and we'll have the date for sure on that in the coming weeks. And we'll be brewing by the end of the summer.
That's great.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll see Jersey Metal,
That's right.
the beer, be a Jersey Shore favorite.
Yeah, and I'm hoping it just goes to whatever club wants it in New Jersey, and it's a great tasting beer.
And on a final note, I just want to go into the whole John Belushi thing again.
Okay.
So one night, a friend of mine's band was playing at a place in Jamesburg, New Jersey. Donna, you'll remember this one.
Oh, is that Emmett's?
No,
Emmetston in Jamesburg, isn't it?
no, that was actually,
Is it right next to Jamesburg?
yes, it is. But this place was called the Golden Saddle.
Oh, okay. I don't think I was ever at that.
Actually, Donna's husband was a part of this band called Jealous Rage.
Okay.
God bless you, Pat. We love you. We miss you. And this place was like the Blues Brothers, like walking into Bob's Country Bunker.
Oh man,
And
that was a scene.
and yes, a fight broke loose.
Oh Jesus! Any bottles being thrown at the chicken?
Bottles got thrown. I think I got like 2 or 3 pool sticks cracked over my
Oh
head,
Jesus!
which I know, that probably has something to do with something's wrong with me these days. But that's a whole other
For another
episode.
time. Yeah.
So anyway, on that note, everybody, for Frank White, I'm John Vincent. Good night. God bless. Go get your copy of this Jersey Metal. We'll see you soon.
All right.
Good night.
Night.